Imagine this scene, which instantly triggers a sharp, piercing pain and panic in your mind and body. Just recently, just last night, he was completely absorbed in you. He was attentive, passionate, his communication filled with incredible attraction and desire for your presence. He actively initiated dialogue, texted you first thing in the morning, planned your future, and demonstrated his unwavering confidence in your relationship, making you the center of his attention and his life. But today arrives, and everything changes. Today, a cold, cutting, psychologically unbearable silence has descended, completely at odds with yesterday's ardor. It's a shocking contrast. He responds dryly and monosyllabically, after indecently long pauses. He's constantly busy or tired. He no longer initiates contact, doesn't seek your company, and doesn't invest emotional energy in communication. You instantly panic. Your mind is operating on the most painful pattern, screaming only one destructive phrase: "It's over. He's lost his feelings for me and found someone else." This is the most obvious conclusion, but 90% of the time, it's the most incorrect in the gender psychology of relationships. His sudden coldness is rarely a direct loss of feelings in the moment. The truth, a sudden cooling off is not a diagnosis, it's a critical signal. It's his brain's reaction to a disruption in the dynamic and the loss of his own space within the relationship, not his heart's ultimate decision to end it. We will reveal the dark psychology of male detachment and show you how to restore deep attraction by giving him what he instinctively seeks and what you unknowingly took from him during the process of getting closer. The myth we're debunking: we willfully believe that stability and emotional intimacy in relationships mean complete fusion, constant control, and the destruction of personal space and privacy. Truth: for a man's thinking and instincts, stability often becomes synonymous with mental stagnation and a loss of challenge or the need to conquer, which instantly kills his motivation and attraction to you. Your mind believes that complete control over the relationship counterbalances your anxiety and fear of loss. His brain interprets this control as the destruction of his masculine role and his will to autonomy. Insight number 1, the lost space effect and the stifled dynamic. Psychology and biology require space. The masculine instinctively needs periods of mental and physical retreat, space and time for hunting, at work, in hobbies, and self-affirmation outside of the relationship. When you begin to dominate communication, fill every free minute, or completely plan everything for him, you not only take away his space but also his role as the leader and provider in the relationship. His mind interprets this not as emotional intimacy or love, but as mental suffocation, loss of autonomy, and the slow destruction of his self within the confines of this relationship. He flees from the threat. Mini story: you begin by responding to his messages instantly, then demand a response within an hour, and then begin sharing every detail of your life with him without asking, leaving no mystery and no room for his own initiative. He loses the incentive to search and disappears. Secret: his detachment and coldness are his instinctive attempt to reclaim lost space and restore his center, and his will outside your control. He saves himself. Insight number 2, the tyranny of lack of challenge and achieved goals. Gender psychology and motivational psychology teach, attraction and interest are maintained by constant challenge, dynamism, and a sense of the need to invest in the relationship. If you become completely predictable, completely available, and lose your own focus in life, his brain registers this as a goal achieved that no longer requires energy. Remember dopamine? It needs a dose of the chase, the risk of loss, and a sense of constant unfinished business to fuel its inner fire of attraction and motivation for action. When you become a haven from which he will never leave at your will, he stops valuing its uniqueness and his role as provider and protector within it. Your mind perceives the absence of conflict and complete agreement as the desired stability and harmony. His mind perceives the absence of challenges, dynamics, and struggle as stagnation, boredom, and a loss of meaning in the relationship. Your thinking must radically shift. If a relationship ceases to be a challenge and becomes a source of complete, absolute comfort, the male mind stops investing in it as a priority and shifts its energy to external goals and challenges, career, sports, hobbies. He instinctively seeks dynamism. Insight number 3, reversal of the value frame and emotional investment. The value framework in any relationship is an invisible yet fundamental dynamic. It determines who invests more emotional energy, whose priorities and schedule are more important, and whose emotions dominate communication. If you begin to invest 100% of your emotional energy, your thoughts, and your time in him, his problems, and his life, your own value in his eyes inevitably and critically declines. Your brain operates on a destructive pattern. You mistakenly believe that the more you give and sacrifice, the more love and attraction you receive. The dark truth is that you create a toxic imbalance where you become dependent, and he becomes disillusioned and devastated. Psychology demands respect. He must constantly see and recognize that his presence in your life is a privilege he must fight for and which he can lose, not a necessity he already completely controls. Mini story: you cancel your important plans for his unexpected call or whim. You take on all his emotional problems and responsibility for his mood. You make him the absolute center of your life. You make yourself less valuable and less interesting to pursue. Secret: his coldness and detachment are not the cause, but a reaction to the loss of your own autonomy, your personal space, and your center of power outside of this relationship. Emotions: from anxiety and insecurity to inner, unwavering strength. Your first, instinctive reaction to coldness is fear of loss, anxiety, and deep insecurity. You try to increase communication, increase control, and demand emotional security. This is the most destructive and self-sabotaging pattern in gender dynamics. Your emotions compel you to do exactly what will further push him away and confirm to him your loss of value. Awareness leads to liberation. His coldness isn't about your inadequacy. It's about him not being able to find his place and role in the dysfunctional dynamic you've created. Your path to restoring attraction isn't about increasing your attention to him, but by reclaiming your power, your focus, and your autonomy. Practice self-affirmation. Immediately fill your life with your own interests, your own goals, and your own schedule. Give him space so he can choose to return to an interesting and challenging partner, rather than feel trapped and stifled. The philosophy of attraction is simple: you can't control his choices, but you can absolutely control your mental state and your external value as an independent person. Your confidence will return and become unshakable when you stop seeking validation of your worth in his communication and his attention. Secret: the masculine instinctively returns to that which challenges, constantly reaffirms its high value, and demands effort to win. Your mind must remember: if you want to attract his attention, retreat and make yourself difficult for him to control. If you want to hold on to it, focus on your own self-development and independence. Gender dynamics require constant movement and space between partners. When you stop chasing and start focusing on yourself, you automatically become a target. Your inner clarity will return when you overcome the fear of rejection and establish your own independent value framework. Strong ending: his coldness is the strongest and most abrupt signal to you that you have forgotten your own power, lost your value in your own eyes, and given control of your happiness to him. Relationship truth: he became cold because you stopped being a challenge. Your unshakable self-confidence and your autonomy are the only, unchanging key to recovering and maintaining attraction.